the bilateralism in order to maintain asymmetry, often between global north powers or superpowers and global south countries. A progressive project must have an international project at its core. And this is a crucial element because in this conference here and this morning, we've heard many wonderful policy initiatives. This morning we were in there was a great workshop on how new laws for gig workers have been introduced, first in Rajasthan, then in Karnataka, and now very soon in Telangana, and we celebrate this. And there are all sorts of fantastic domestic policies that have been proposed here. What about international policy? What is the internationalist project of the Congress Party going to be? Is it going to be the legacy of this wonderful picture of the Bandung Conference 70 years ago this week with Nehru, Nkrumah, Nasser, Sukarno and Tito? Or is it going to be an India that is just used as a bulwark of the West against China? Is it going to be an India of bilateralism? Or is it going to be an India of multilateralism, of collective action? An anchor in the global South to fight some of the great abuses of the current system of international governance we are often victim to. The Indian National Congress is heir to the historic legacy of Bandung. In Latin America and in the global South, it is this legacy from this party we most admire. It is this legacy from this party that I teach my students. What is it going to be? A Congress party from the global South? A Congress party seeking to harness collective action? A Congress party going back to its non-aligned roots? We heartily hope so in Latin America and the global South, and we encourage you all to follow this path. We need a genuine, not a vacuous, not a tokenistic, commitment to the struggle for the democratization of the international system that serves the needs, the interests, the rights of the world's majority. The Congress Party is called to play this role. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request Ms. Clara Lopez Obregon, Senator and former Labor Minister of Colombia, to please step forward and address the gathering.
Colleagues from the progressive forces of the world over, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, your words with that meaningful lesson of replacing or confronting the new politics of hate with the politics of love is the right way forward. In Colombia, our president, Gustavo Petro, too, has the politics of love and has life at the center of all his preoccupations. In the spirit of Bandung and as members of the Global South, we must once more decide not to be for or against any great power, but rather in favor of world peace, democratic values, human rights, global justice, and equitable development. May the Bharat Summit signify the unity of all progressive forces with the common goal of social justice in a world that once more faces the East-West divide and the challenges of intolerance, terrorism, and genocide, which we wholeheartedly condemn and express our solidarity for the happenings recently that have affected India and the world over. Let us lead the way and walk together, respecting our differences and sharing our strengths for the common good. Telangana has given us great examples, And thank you for your generous hospitality. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I now request Mr. Jorge Tayana, former Foreign Minister, Argentina, to please step forward and address the gathering.
Thank you to the authorities of Telangana. Thank you, Rahul Gandhi, to be here for your address and for support this initiative, and to all the people that are here. Of course, we support and we are very sorry for the attack the other day. I invoke the Bandung spirit because it's very, in a sense, embody peace, non-violence, non-discrimination, and a commitment to development rooted in respecting each nation's sovereignty. We stand before a world in transition, where the relationship between nation states is being fundamentally changed. The tension stems from their gradual erosion driven by technological revolution and compounded by productive, financial, communicative, and cultural globalization. A world that demands coordinated global efforts to address its greatest challenges, from the climate crisis to persistent poverty and worsening inequality. Today, concentration of power and wealth explain disparities within countries and between nations. Argentina, my country, now suffers a regression across economic, social, and democratic spheres, manifesting the current administration policy agenda. The trajectory fundamentally contradicts the prerequisite for equitable development, demonstrating how right-wing ascendancy foreclose pathway to justice. Consider the case of Dr. Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, former two-term president and current chair of the Justicialist Party, a party with 3 million affiliates in our country, who faced politically motivated legal harassment. The narrow aim is her electoral disqualification. The wider goal is to discredit all the opposition. Such tactics seek to intimidate a leader who dares to defend Argentine people's welfare. And this is a clear message. Our problem is not only the authoritarian presidents that go with the far right. I also a corrupted judiciary that not work with the point view of the justice legislation. Judiciary branch is a serious problem in our country. This geopolitical tensions and uneven development necessitates immediate action against inequality through 3 structural approaches: active non-alignment as a guiding doctrine, deeper regional integration, and institutionalized global South collaboration. On the final point, we must reaffirm Argentine's legitimate and unalienable sovereignty over the Malvinas, South Georgia, and Sandwich Islands and their surrounding maritime territories, integral part of our national territory. The UN General Assembly Resolution 2665 explicitly recognizes the sovereignty dispute and calls upon Argentina and the United Kingdom to seek a peaceful, lasting solution. Yet the UK not only disregard this resolution, but exploit both renewable and non-renewable natural resources in a dispute sector in the South Atlantic. In times of instability, advancing global justice in all its dimensions is an imperative for all who believes must serve the welfare of our people. Let me conclude with late Pope Francis' words. I was close to him, and my family used to tell that we are friends. He's now been buried in the Santa Maria Maggiore Church in a humble coffin. He reminds us that the people is not achieved, peace is not achieved merely by ending wars, but by building a new world, one where we discover ourselves as different, yet more united and bound in fellowship than ever we imagined. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And yes, since Sri Rahul Gandhi ji has a hectic schedule ahead, I request all our distinguished international leaders to please limit your speech to just 1.5 minutes. We move forward to our next speaker. I request Mr. Cedric Wermuth, Swiss Party President, to please step forward and address the gathering.
Thank you. I'm a father of 2 young children, 2 young girls, and some years ago, the older one came to me and said, "Hey, Dad, how was that when human beings and dinosaurs were together on the planet? Did they like each other or did they fight?" And I tried to explain to her that dinosaurs had died before the human race came to Earth, and that nobody, no human is old enough to have ever seen actual living dinosaur. And then she turned her head and looked at me skeptically and said, "Not even you?" And that was the moment when I understood that the world had changed. And although there are only 30 years between her and me, I'm 39 years old, it's true. The politics I inherited, and we heard it from all the colleagues before, is a politics of an age that has gone long before us. And I think it's extremely important that we are precise on pointing on what's happening on the global stage these days and weeks and years. Yes, it has become fashionable in Western Europe to analyze the situation through the idea of the new polycrisis of neoliberalism. The truth is the crisis has always been there, but for the global South. The global North has just not seen it and has exported its problems to the global South. This time, the crisis is coming back. And it is coming back under the disguise of these very dangerous clowns, which Mr. Trump is the most dangerous probably for world politics. And I'd like to be very precise. I'm still on the 30. I have the right to be a bit more outspoken than other ones in this room. I think we have to be very precise. There is a new coalition of a neo-fascist project and of class war by global billionaires who try to exploit nature and human beings even more than before, or as the ITUT points it out, a coup against democracy and everything we have been fighting for in the last 50 or 70 years. And there are two things I want to stress for the progressive movement. First of all, I think we should have been that who questioned the neoliberal global order. And we didn't. So it is high time to do it now. Because we cannot become the bearers and the defenders of the status quo. We must be the ones who go further for dignity, liberty, truth, justice and equality for everyone. And I think also on this point, it is time for Europe, for the global North, for Switzerland, my country, to learn from the global South. And to learn from what the leader of the INC just said, Rahul Gandhi, to turn to that politics of listening to people. So maybe we could start at a progressive international, progressive alliance, this global, not only Indian, but global yatra would be a little bit more, like 40,000 kilometers, but 4,000 kilometers. But listening to the people of the world and taking up that struggle for more justice and trying to create a real common political ground that has dignity and love in its core. We are ready to do it. The world has only us to defend it. Please be with us. Go to action. We need global progressive politics. Thank you, everyone, for doing that every day.
Thank you so much. We move forward. I now request Mr. Martin Ziguele, former Prime Minister, Central African Republic, to please step forward and address the gathering.
Merci, je serai très rapide, je parle en français. Je suis Martin Ziguele, je suis ancien Premier ministre de la République centrafricaine. La République centrafricaine est vraiment au cœur de l'Afrique. La même distance entre le Cap en Afrique du Sud jusqu'au canal de Suez en Égypte, juste au milieu, c'est mon pays. Nous sommes entourés par la République démocratique du Congo au sud, le Cameroun à l'ouest, les deux Soudans à l'est et le Tchad au nord. Nous sommes donc au cœur de l'Afrique et aujourd'hui nous sommes ici pour dire que nous faisons partie du monde. Et l'Afrique, je ne veux pas vous refaire l'histoire, a vécu le poids de l'injustice. L'injustice sur le plan historique, l'injustice sur le plan de l'économie. Et ceux qui sont de ma génération se rappellent que grâce à l'Inde, grâce à Bandung, à la conférence de Bandung, à la conférence des non-alliés, où celui qui représentait l'Afrique, c'était Gamal Abdel Nasser, nous avons été donc vaccinés par le vaccin de la lutte pour la liberté et pour la justice. Mais il faut se souvenir que la lutte pour la liberté et la justice est une quête perpétuelle, elle n'est jamais achevée. C'est en Afrique aujourd'hui que nous avons encore des pays où il y a des coups d'État militaires. Il y a seulement 2 ans, 4 pays dont nos camarades étaient les dirigeants, présidents démocratiquement élus, ont été successivement renversés par des coups d'État militaires. Cela s'est passé en Guinée, au Mali, au Niger et au Burkina Faso. Et aujourd'hui, un de nos camarades progressistes a été renversé en juin 2023 et au moment où je vous parle, il est détenu avec son épouse au sous-sol de la propre présidence où il était président de la République. C'est au Niger et c'est notre camarade Mohamed Bazoum. Donc en Afrique, nous vivons l'injustice, nous avons besoin de solidarité, pas pour venir se substituer à nous, mais comme disait notre camarade Raoul Gandhi, il faut nous écouter, même si on ne nous aime pas, mais il faut au moins nous écouter pour nous soutenir dans cette lutte que nous menons. Je vous remercie.
Merci. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we now move forward to launching, the Hyderabad resolution. We have the documents in hand. Our dignitaries present here on stage have it all in their hands. So I request you to kindly please rise and hold it in your hand as the photographers, the videographers will capture this wonderful moment, ladies and gentlemen, as we formally launch Hyderabad resolution. I request all our dignitaries to please step forward with the document in hand. I request all our friends from press media to please step forward and capture this wonderful moment, the powerful formal launch of Hyderabad resolution. Yes, my dear friends, I request you to please be seated as we have our other distinguished international leaders still to talk to us. I now request His Excellency Hipólito Mejia to please step forward. His Excellency Hipólito Mejia, former President, Dominican Republic. I request you, sir, to please step forward and address the gathering. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we still have many speakers on, and we'll also be looking forward to the vote of thanks. Thank you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, request you to please be seated. Please be seated. We have our distinguished speakers. Yes, my dear friends, ladies, please settle down, be seated. We have our distinguished speakers who will be talking to us. We have 5 more international leaders speaking to us. And we also will be witnessing the closing remarks by TPCC President Shri Mahesh Garu. So I request you to please remain seated. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries, delegates, I request you to please remain seated. We are continuing with our international leaders delivering their speeches, and we also have the closing remarks to be said by TPCC President Shri Mahesh Garu. So I request you to please remain seated. I request His Excellency Hipólito Mejia, former President, Dominican Republic, to kindly please address the gathering. Okay.
So thanks. What up? Just you can.
Yes, I now request our Minister, Shri Uttam Kumar Reddy Garu, to kindly please propose the vote of thanks.